So you're gonna need some space to work on this, and I'm not sure if it's possible to install this without lifting the car up. As you can see here, I just drove on top of these pieces of wood, and I think this is gonna be enough clearance for me to work on it. So the first thing we need to do here is to loosen up the top bolt here on the sway bar and remove the one on the bottom completely so that we can get access to mount the diffuser. So with the bolt out of the way and the top one loose, I should be able to put this bracket right in between the sway bar and the mount here, and just put this screw back in there. And this has some adjustment plate here, of course, to lower it or raise it up. So I'll just leave it like that for now and do the same thing on the other side. So now that we have both brackets on the sway bar, we're now going to work on the brackets on the rear. So for the next steps, we're gonna be installing some rivets on these holes here. We don't have to drill anything for this kit, which is pretty cool. And it came with these pieces that you install, and that basically creates the piece where we're gonna be attaching the diffuser to. So we're gonna put 3 on each side, starting with this one. I was able to get all the rivets in there, and we got both sides now. So we now have everything we need to install the diffuser. Alright, so I was hoping I didn't have to lift the car up, but I don't think I'm gonna have a choice. Let me tell you, this is a freaking pain to do by yourself. So if you have somebody that can help, it's a lot better. I use blocks of wood and cardboard to get the diffuser up, but just putting this, getting these nuts and bolts to go through here without something holding it up, it's nearly impossible. Alright, so now that I have them sort of held in there, I can move this back and show you what I'm working with. And I'm running out of light here, of course. Even with the daylight savings, every project takes a lot more than you would anticipate, but this is what I'm dealing with right now. So I was finally able to get all the bolts where they needed to go and mount the diffuser. This was a major struggle to pass the bolt through the space and tighten the nut on the other sides, because there is really no space for you to put your hand on. So I ended up having to use the long bolts and one of the spacers for me to get enough space and clearance to get it installed. So now we're gonna install these side pieces here that attach to the main diffuser. There's 3 bolts, and I'm quickly losing sunlight. And I am now officially out of sunlight. Every single one of these bolts is a pain in the ass to get in there. Getting everything to line up is a pain in the ass. Passing the bolts through all the pieces is been a pain in the ass. I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong or the fact that I'm in a hurry. But man, I never anticipated this to take such a long time. Alright, so we're back and it is another day. I lost all sunlight, so I had to wait. And I did manage to get everything sort of bolted on. I had to take the car to work the next day, so I didn't have a choice. But I didn't really line up everything as it should be or level it out. So now I need to do all the final adjustments. And one thing I learned the hard way, of course, is that this would have been a lot easier to install if I had taken off the wheels right from the get-go. I did that now, so I don't have any of the rear wheels installed. So as you can see here, there's a lot more space to work with. When you have the wheels removed, of course, I can fit my hand a lot easier and I can reach all of the bolts. And the first thing I needed to adjust was the rear tabs here. I just needed to lower everything a little bit more because I was making contact with the exhaust. And as you can see all the way here, there should be no contact with the exhaust, so I'm gonna try and get it as close as possible without it touching. So for that, I just had to again loosen the bolts here that attach to the sway bar so that the bracket can slide up a little bit more, and then just push it up. So you can see here now I have just a little bit of space in between the diffuser and the exhaust. It's exactly what I wanted. So the last step, once you have everything installed and bolted, is basically to adjust this, the two outer fins so that you can make sure everything is leveled. We're gonna want to make this level, and we're gonna want to make sure these are at the same height as well. And you should also make sure that the fins or the diffuser itself is level to the ground. According to Verus Engineering, that is how you get the most in terms of the efficiency for air flow, etc. To be honest, this is mostly a cosmetic mod for me, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm gonna try and get it as close as I can to level. So we're gonna be using these 3 bolts here to make the final adjustments. I can get them loose and then I can move this fin as well as the main diffuser. This piece right here of course stays in place. And that's leveled. At least as good as I'm willing to get it leveled. So here's the diffuser installed and with the car on the ground. As you can see, it's quite dirty already. So I just realized this is one more piece I'm gonna have to keep clean. That's what you gotta put up with when you use your car as a daily driver. Overall, I am happy with the way it looks. I was a little concerned about how it was going to look on the car. I'm glad I went with the non-aggressive model. It's a subtle look, and my favorite part is how it covers the bottom of the exhaust here and kind of encloses the exhaust in this nice square there.